What's up, guys? So today I wanted to go ahead and discuss why I would choose these phones over the Galaxy A54. And the reason why I picked this phone up, because you guys know we typically like to recommend older flagships on this channel. And I'll even throw in a mid-ranger that I really liked. But I've been doing comparisons, I've been using the phone, and it's pretty much what I expected before I even bought the phone. Because the reason why I picked it up is because we had a video that actually went a little bit viral last month. And I talked about the Galaxy A54 in this video, and we had a ton of comments, and a lot of people were telling me that I needed to buy the phone. That was like the main criticism. You didn't buy the phone. Guys, I've tested so many phones, especially Samsung phones. Guys, I didn't even need to buy the phone to know. As soon as I saw the Exynos chip and the price, and then also you got to remember the competition is so high. In the mid-range section, Google has literally made the competition so high, and I want to talk about why that is. I did two comparisons, and that pretty much summed it up what I thought about the phone. I compared it to the Pixel 6a, and then I compared it to the S20 FE. And honestly, you don't really need to do any more comparisons after that. I feel like it pretty much sums it up. So let's go ahead and get into my thoughts on why I think you shouldn't buy this phone, and I'm going to give you some alternatives. Alright, so if you live in the USA, and I'm going to get to overseas markets like India and stuff like that, since that's my second biggest viewers, but a Galaxy S21 Ultra right here, it is $400. I got the same one. It's a used refurbished version. It costs $400. The A54 costs about the same here in the United States. It costs $400. There's absolutely zero reason to get the A54 over S21 Ultra. It's not even close. Like nothing. The screen is better. The hardware is better. The processor is better. Everything is better about this phone. I think the only thing that this phone does not have that this phone has is SD card support. But honestly, you get an actual real flagship phone with crazy camera zoom, 100 times zoom. Like I said, beautiful screen. Awesome processor. You can play any game that you throw at it. There's no comparison with these two phones. But even I compared the S20 FE. This costs $200 in these states. And even if we go to Amazon in India, right? So even for my guys overseas, right? So we're going to go to Amazon, India. The A54, I believe, still costs more overseas. So we got A54 in India is going to cost you, no, it looks like 40,000, lowest 38,000. They have a deal going on, but it looks like 38,000. But look at the S20 FE. You get a renewed, refurbished version. You guys saw that comparison. The S20 FE pretty much crushed the A54 in almost everything. And the S20 FE has SD card support. To me, this display looks slightly a little bit better, even though they kind of have the same specs. Also, it's got the Snapdragon 865 chip. We saw the comparison with PUBG. It's literally night and day difference, guys. If you're a gamer, you're always going with the older flagship. It's comical that this Exynos chip, it can't do PUBG as smooth extreme. It can't play it at 60 frames. It feels choppy in comparison to a S21 Ultra or S20 FE. There's almost no comparison. It was choppy even in comparison to the Pixel 6a. So it makes me wonder, because I see all these videos online reviewing the A54, but you have to remember, when you are reviewing a device, you have to review it in comparison to what's on the market. So this phone, the A54, doesn't do anything better than, in my opinion, the Pixel. The only thing that it has over the Pixel is that it's got SD card support, it's got a high refresh rate display. But the reason why the Pixel is so unique, and I really like to recommend these Pixel phones, not only that, but Google has the 7a coming out this month as well too. I believe next week, that's going to have the high refresh rate display, and so it pretty much will dominate the mid-range market. The reason why the Pixel is doing such a great job is because Google put its Tensor chip in the Pixel, right? That was in the flagship phones originally, right? So it's got pretty much a flagship chipset in here. So it's able to play games really well. It's able to keep up really smooth performance on here. Very fast phone. But not only that, if you guys remember MKBHD's blind smartphone test, I think this either won or it was extremely close. So this still has a flagship quality camera in it as well, guys. The camera is better than the A54 by far. It's not even close. I would take this camera over the A54 any day. So we got those. We got the Pixel really coming in strong this year. That's why I say Google is doing a fantastic job. They pretty much raised the bar for these mid-range phones. So these mid-range phones are almost like flagship phones. Almost. It's got flagship chip, right? And then it's also got the flagship quality cameras. I personally, I would not buy A54 over a Pixel 6a. I would not buy over S20 FE. This is still getting security patches. It's on Android 13. The S21 Ultra will get up to Android 15. I would buy S20 Ultra as well. If you're an iPhone person, I would buy iPhone 11 or iPhone 11 Pro. I would just personally would never spend my money on this phone. It just doesn't do anything better than these other phones, in my opinion. And the reason why I'm like really harping on the processor is because I've made mid-range phones when I first started my channel, and what I would notice is that they would start to get laggy as I use them. So like a year in, they would start lagging. And these phones, even though the A54 is not that slow, so I'll go ahead and give you guys like I'll show you guys something. So I'm gonna open up Subway Surf, and just to show you like the difference, how Google has really stepped their game up, even in comparison to a flagship phone. So you see, they're gonna open up, right? They're pretty much on par with each other, right? But like I said in my video, when you start opening a ton of applications, here's the issue with this phone. So we're gonna open up a ton of applications, right? Well, not even really a ton, right? Just gonna open up these that we have right here. And see, that's not what I'm talking about. That's fine for a mid-range phone, right? That's what you would expect. But when I get into games and stuff, like, especially if I open PUBG, oh, it's a big difference. Now watch how fast the Pixel gets in here. Watch how it's able to handle those applications running in the background. Look how slow the A54 is. Like I said, imagine if this was PUBG. It would take all day. Like that to me is just, that's no competition. It just smokes it. And not only that, but like I said, if you're a gamer on a budget, this Exynos chip is trash. I'm sorry. It's trash in comparison to a 6A, even an iPhone 11, a S20 FE, S21 Ultra. It is absolutely garbage in comparison to those phones. I showed you guys the comparisons. I'll show you. You should be seeing it right now. It's no competition. So basically, to just wrap this little rant up, if you're overseas, I would get something from the S20 lineup, S20 FE, S21, something like that. I would get an older flagship phone over the A54. And if you're in the USA, I would go for like S21 Ultra. I think because the price is just awesome. I know this is more expensive overseas. I would go for an older flagship, guys. Pixel 6 Pro, even. I would go for that. A Pixel 6. It's just like there's so many better phones, even overseas. Like I think Xiaomi has a few phones that I really like, that are mid-range phones that I think are better than this phone. And it's not to say that this is a bad phone, because I know it seems like I'm trashing it, but I'm not. When you recommending phones, you have to look at its competition. This phone, to me, I just wouldn't buy it over the other phones. There's just nothing enticing about it. And like I said, the processor and cameras, really the processor is like the main thing with a phone, because you don't want to have to upgrade your phone every year or even every other year. You might want to keep your phone for 3 years. And you know, these flagship phones, they last so long. Still very smooth, still can play games, still great cameras, still all the wireless charging, Samsung desktop support. There's no reason to get an A54 over a S20 FE, over a Pixel 6a. So, you know, I think Google has just dominated the mid-range phone game, and I think older flagships, now that there's, you know, getting longer updates like the S21 Ultra, now that they're getting longer updates, there's really no reason to get this phone. I would even go as far back and say, I think the Galaxy Note 10 Plus is better than the A54 by a mile. Even though it lacks high refresh rate and stuff like that, it's still more powerful, and I think it's still a better long-term buy. So what do you guys think? I might have some angry people, but please let me know in the comments. I'll be in the comments looking. Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.